here in this episode of today, we're going to talk about leadership, about how to evolve and how to make bold move in your business, because I'm going to share the story behind my business pivot and what you can learn from it. A pivot is going to happen to all of you. All of you that are going to be in business for more than 3 months are going to make a pivot. And this is something that can be so scary. It's something that can be so scary. You might not know exactly what to do. And I want to guide you through this process, or for you to listen to this now, because when this is going to happen to you, I want you to remember that you can totally do this. Okay. So a pivot, first of all, is not a failure. Okay. It's not a failure. You didn't fail at your business. Okay. This is me really telling you this because I see a lot of entrepreneurs moving through a pivot and thinking, I'm failing. I failed because I thought this was going to be my business and I need something else. Of course, you need something else. You are a business owner. You are a human. You evolve. Yeah. This is the same for everyone else. So you're not a failure. Okay. This is a realignment with your values, with your goals, and with your evolving self. Thanks God you are not the same person as 6 months ago, as 1 year ago, as 5 years ago. It is normal. Some people tend to do are changing niche, okay? Changing niche to go smaller, to go bigger, like me being going bigger, let's say. Offering new products can be a big pivot depending on what you are doing, or completely shifting your branding, completely shifting your messaging. That also can go with your niche. Okay, a big pivot for people is doing something completely different in their business. And it is completely normal and necessary as we grow a business. Okay, that's normal. So we are going to talk about in this episode of some common fears when pivoting. Then I will explain why I pivoted the business and how I did it. And I'm going to share with you 5 lessons, okay, 5 lessons that you need to remember when you're going to do a pivot, okay? And that completely changed the way that I did a pivot. And when I see people pivoting, that's the 5 things that I know they need to learn, okay? To really do it with grace, okay? And also not completely freak out. So the common fears when pivoting, the first one is to have the fear of your income dropping. And I can tell you, your income is going to drop. And the idea is from people thinking of, will I still make enough money? Will I still make enough money? And so if you're going to make a pivot, you have to think about it. Myself, I make decision fast. I'm a fast mover. This is how I am. I've been like this my entire life. So I don't have to change this in myself. And we're going to talk about that also in a little bit later in this episode. But I was very aware that, yes, I am going to have an income drop. Because the people that are in my audience, 100%, most probably of the people that are in my audience are going to be like, what the heck is happening? But I can tell you that every single person who has bought something from me before is still buying from me even after I have done the rebranding, because they know that what I offer in my paid offers is so good. Okay. So my income has dropped in a way that was plannable. Like I could definitely see it coming because I had to upgrade and change my offers. And so one of the things that we build with our business is a lot of offer awareness. Yeah, we want our people to be aware of our offers. Maybe they don't want to sign up for it right now, which is completely fine. But when they're going to be ready, like they will have it. So in our content, we mainly talk to the 3% of people that are ready to buy now. And for the 97% of the rest of our audience, we do actually offer awareness. So for me, this is exactly how I saw it. And I was like, I'm going to change my things and it's going to be totally fine. Something that it happened for me is that when I decided to do the pivot, I had 4.5K of recurring revenue from payment plan and stuff like this and recurring clients. So I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to go back to zero. Okay. But I want you to ask yourself, like when you're going to do the pivot, what is the most important thing? Okay. That's really important to really ask yourself, because it is a common fear and you have to understand it. You have to understand what is coming at the back of it. I can definitely live with 5K because now I'm at like 5K, let's say. Well, I was just after the pivot. And so I can live with 5K per month, so it is not like very, very well. Like I live in Indonesia. So I was not scared of this. I could have been and have the fear of this because I am building my dream house and I do save a lot of money per month for this. Yeah. But I eat fear for breakfast. So I have no problem with moving from this. The second fear that is happening when pivoting is the fear of losing authority. Will people still see me as an authority? Will people still see me as credible? Like, do people want to still listen to me? And one of the things with this is a lot of ego. Yeah, is a lot of ego and fear of losing authority. You are an authority or you are not an authority. It doesn't matter. You can't lose authority. If I'm a genius in telling you how to create content, your messaging, your branding, and structuring your offers so people want to buy everything you have, if I'm talking to a yoga teacher or if I'm talking to a nutrition coach, it is exactly the same. Yeah. So to me, I haven't lost authority because I am an authority in this. I don't know anyone that does what I do the way that I do it and that good. Yeah. So I want you really to remember this, that the authority has nothing to do with this. Okay. But you can have this fear and everything that you are feeling is fine. Okay. And I don't want you to feel bad because you have the fear of the income drop, because you have the fear of losing authority. I want you to become aware of it. Okay. I want you to become aware of it and be like, is that something I want to have? Does that make sense? Can I move past it? Yeah. Then the third fear is the fear of not being seen as a leader. Okay. It's quite close, but authority is different than leadership. And so people can wonder when they're doing a pivot, like, am I throwing away everything built? Yeah, no more. When I did this pivot, I threw away an offer that brings me 100K a year by itself. Yeah, by itself, doing a couple of launches a year. So you can think of why? Why would you do this when you can make 100K a year? Because it's not about the money. Yeah, when you grow a business, it's not about just the money. I grew a business and I was talking with my mom yesterday actually about this because my mom, she did sophrology certification this year and she's pivoting her entire business. And we were talking about this, about throwing up everything that you have done and that the business is not about the money. And she was saying that, she's so proud of me saying that I'm so aware of money. And she's like, because I'm not. She's like, I'm not good with money. And of course, you imagine what I can say to her about that. But she's saying that she has never planned for money. And I said to her, this is exactly why I am the way that I am. Yeah. I make decision knowing that I never want to not have money. Why that? Because my entire family constantly talked about not having money, the stress. We were eating cereal for dinner. We couldn't buy any stuff. It was always a nightmare if we needed costume for something. We never went on a field trip or something like this with our school because we had no money. So for me, I do see the money as being very important, but I told her, this is not why I do what I do. If not, I would have kept all of these offers. I would have kept this business. But no, it is not for this. I said to her, for me, I need to be helping people. I need to feel useful. I need to be helping people to be like the version of themselves that they want to be. Yeah. And for me, what I absolutely love is helping other women be independent. Yeah. Be like badass independent. And to do this, I love that they build their own business. Yeah. Not with their husband, not with their partner, not with a friend. No. They build a business online from their house, from their room, from sitting on the floor like I did. Maybe they have a newborn like I did. Yeah. And they do it. And one step at a time, they realize they actually don't need anyone. And it's their choice to ask for help. It's their choice to surround themselves with other people. For me, this is why I do business, not because I make 100K with this offer. Who cares? And for me, this is being a leader, okay? Because I am, as a leader, showing other women that it's not just about the money. It's not just about the money. Yeah. So the fear of not being seen as a leader is also you. Do you see yourself as a leader? What does a leader do? For me, a leader follow their intuition. For me, a leader do not move only because of the money. So did I throw away some offers that made a good money? But who cares? Now, another fear, okay, and that's number 4, that can happen when pivoting is losing your audience, okay? Will they follow you in your new direction? Well, not all of them. Maybe none of them are going to follow you. Yeah. It depends so much on what is your pivot. Okay. For me, I was serving only yoga teachers. So since 2016, I mentor yoga teachers. Okay. And I have them build their careers. This has evolved. And with COVID, like I moved completely, my yoga business is online. And so I have them do the same. Okay. So for the last 4 years now, I helped yoga teachers create their online businesses, so move online. And I helped them make a bunch of money, creating so many offers. But I needed to expand this away from yoga teachers. I needed this. And so now a lot of yoga teachers stay in my audience, but I have a lot of new people coming in, and that's so exciting. And I cannot tell you the level of unsubscribe that I have at the moment is also a lot, because what I'm talking about is not just related to yoga. Now, in my stories, I'm not every day sharing my yoga practice. I practice yoga every day, 6 days a week. And I am not, because this is not just part of my identity anymore. My identity has evolved, and this is why I actually decided to change a little bit stuff in my business and do this pivot. So yes, fear of losing your audience is right. It is right that you have it, that you have this fear, okay? But what are you going to do with this fear? Once again, myself, I say, I eat fear for breakfast. Yeah, I'm going to lose some people and some new people are coming in. But see, this is a normal fear to have. What you do with this fear is what is going to matter the most. Then fear of starting from scratch is another one. Okay, that's the last one I'm going to talk about now. And starting from scratch can feel like a lot. You can remember how you did at the beginning, everything you went through. I was working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day while during COVID, while my husband was with my child in the next room. I was telling them to shush all of the time because I was recording stuff online. And for me, that was so important to be professional. That was so important to have no sound in between things, which is something now I don't actually care that much. But at the beginning, I needed everything to be so perfect. And the idea of starting from scratch can be so hard, but I want you to know, okay, your fear is real. Okay, your fear is real. But something that I want you to know on this is that you're actually not starting from scratch. You already built stuff before. Okay. When you do a business, you never had the experience that you have right now. You are not actually starting from scratch. Okay. That's why some people say, oh, I started a new business from scratch and made this money, let's say, in 6 months, because you are not starting from scratch. Your knowledge, your experience, your personality, your authority, your leadership, the way you show up is completely different. Okay. So I really encourage you to name your fears. Okay. To, at the end of this episode, if you are doing a pivot, to write them down and then you face them. Okay. And you see what you want to do with this fear. Now, just a word like on exactly like the why, and I think it's so important to know why you pivot. Okay. That's so important. Why are you pivoting? For me, I evolved, I evolved, I grew up, my vision expanded beyond yoga teachers, and my identity was yoga practitioner, yoga teacher for so long. Yeah. I started practicing yoga when I was 18. Yoga has been a big part of my life. I have been training people to become yoga teachers and mentor them after since 8 years. And so it's a big thing. It's a big thing because people know me as a yoga teacher and as a yoga teacher trainer. Yeah. People in the world come to see me to teach them how to become a yoga teacher because I teach very well yoga. Yeah. And that's something that I was very well known for. And all of my yoga teacher training, all of my retreats were always fully booked. And that's also something that I changed, and I did a pivot there. And this is because for me, I always need to be authentic, and authentic is one of my core values. So I want to invite yourself into checking what are your core values. Okay. For me, I cannot fit into an outdated version of myself. Okay. I am of service, and I feel I will not be true to my audience, to my people, to my friends, to the people that I lead if I wasn't sharing the real Gwen. And I am the exact same person in life here when I record this, in my office. I do not change my personality or who I am and how I talk. And that's why for me, it was so important to actually be able to do this. Yeah. And to stay authentic, I needed to do the pivot. And I could not wait 6 months, I can tell you, to do this pivot, because it would mean that I would have to lie and show up differently than I would normally do for 6 months, to not talk about the things I wanted to talk about. How horrible is this? If I want to talk about something, I want to be able to share about it on social media because it's important for me, because it's authentic. And that's why leadership is about. And I could not imagine not saying what I think. Yeah. That's why, like, when I'm on social media, I could actually post twice a day, most probably, because I have so much to say, because I speak my truth. So I really had this desire of serving a broader audience, coaches, wellness experts, online entrepreneurs, and not just yoga teachers, because I see them in my audience. They are asking me things, and I didn't want them to feel like, yeah, it was just for yoga teachers, because it was not anymore. So in terms of my process with the pivot, what I did, and before sharing with you like the lessons about this pivot, is that I made a decision quickly. And this is really about who I am as a person. But I want you to ask yourself, like, who do you want to be as a person? Do you want to be a person that make decision quickly and figure out the how after, or not? Because it's not that there is one that is better than the other. But of course, like, you're not going to have the result as fast if you take a long time to make a decision. And what I want you to know on this is that you have to make decisions that are aligned with your values and aligned with your big vision. And for me, when I looked at my values and my big vision, this was aligned. So if I had something that was an obstacle in making this decision of doing the pivot, it was fear. All of those fears that I explained to you. So when I did this, I made a decision quickly, being like, this is exactly who I need to be. I want to be myself. And so I need to drop some stuff on the way. I need to drop some bags. I just waited to finish a launch that I was doing for one of my offers that also have me secured more recurring income. And I continue to think like, I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to execute it. And so that's why also, let's say the podcast, I paused it for a couple of months because I had a lot of things to update in my business when I did this move. I also changed mentor. I had, a new mastermind. Like, there was a lot of things that have happened behind the scene. Yeah. A lot of things have happened. And you can't handle everything at the same time. And for me, I'm very much about prioritizing, because as a lot of you know, I work only 4 days a week, and I can do so much in 4 days a week. And I have my son like part of the day, So one thing that I want to say to you is that was so important for me. It was to trust my intuition and to ask myself, what will the bold, badass Gwen, what will she do? And then I do that. Yeah. Every single time I have a doubt, I ask myself this, and I add often calm, especially if I feel overwhelmed. What will the calm Gwen, the put together Gwen, the badass Gwen that moves fast and is bold, what will she do right now? Okay. If this is helpful, some of my friends are like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need to do. And so many of my clients are doing this now. So this is so helpful. And for me, it is a way to make it clearer than saying, oh, you have to move like her or become her. For me, really asking yourself, like, what will she do right now is very, very helpful. Now I'm going to share with you 5 lessons, okay? 5 lessons that are so important if you're making a pivot, okay? So lesson number 1 is that growth requires change. Okay. You know it. Like, you can't keep doing the same things and expect different results. If you want to have something new in your business, if you want to have or to get rid of something that you don't want anymore, of course, you are going to have to drop some bags also. Okay. You make some changes. The growth always involves discomfort. As when you are a kid and you're growing, you have growth pain. Yeah. Or if you go to the gym and every day you are lifting 1 kilo, you can see I have no knowledge about weight in gyms, but it will come very soon. If you're lifting 1 kilo every day, I'm sure that after a few weeks, like, you don't feel anything anymore. Your muscles are not growing. Yeah. So you're going to take maybe 1.5 kilo, maybe 2 kilos, and so on. So every single time you're going to grow your muscles or your business or, the courage, and you will have to go through a little time of discomfort. When you start something new, it is going to be uncomfortable. And the people that make it in business are the people that are okay going through this phase of discomfort because they know this is not going to be the entire life. They know that this is going to be normal for them. And then they are going to do something else. They're going to take more weights. If you want to be a leader, you must evolve. You must show your audience that you are willing to lead by example. And something that you may want to do is to actually try every day to do something uncomfortable. That can be waking up earlier if you're not a person that likes to wake up early. That can be going to the gym and doing things that are uncomfortable for you. It can be, if you are a hermit, it can be being in social events. Do things that makes you uncomfortable every day. Because like this, when you are in a situation that is not expected and you experiencing discomfort, you will be fine with it. You will still move as you will still move as a leader. You're not going to overthink it or be overwhelmed. Lesson number 2 is that fear is natural. Okay, fear is natural. And that's why, like, a mantra that I shared with you, that I love and that I use when I'm scared to make a decision is a decision that feels right. Yeah. If I feel that this decision is what I want to do, like this goes well with my goal, with my personality, with my values, I say to myself, I eat fear for breakfast. Yeah. I just love it. I heard this somewhere a long time ago. So I do not say that this comes from me, but I cannot remember where it comes from. But it did stick to me. I eat fear for breakfast. There is a big difference between doubting a decision, because it's not aligned, and knowing it's aligned, but you're not acting out of fear. This is the saddest moment. Yeah. When you're not doing something because you are so scared and you really want to do it. You know it's aligned. You know it's going to make you a better person. You know it's going to make your business what you wanted. Like, this is maybe not who you want to be, not acting out just because of one of those fears that we talked about. Leadership means moving through fear, okay? Not avoiding it. You want to show people that are following you how you are showing up in your business. How do you handle yourself when hard things are coming? Because hard things are coming. Imagine, like, you had people filming you all week around. How do you show up behind the scene? Who are you? Will people still hire you if they were looking at how you act, how you show up? I can tell you that the way that I show up in my life is the same as online. Yesterday, I said to my husband, please don't do the bare minimum. And my husband looked at me and was like, I'm not one of your clients. I'm like, this has nothing to do with my clients. I'm like, I do not want to do the bare minimum. I don't like people that do the bare minimum. I find it so lazy. I don't want to be seen as being lazy. Yeah, because I'm not lazy. There are some times where I rest. Of course, I'm a yoga teacher. Of course, I chill and work out a lot of the time. But I don't do the bare minimum. I don't do the bare minimum when I'm resting. I don't do the bare minimum when I am working or when I'm cleaning or when I'm doing something. I have very, very high standards for myself, which means that I tend to have very high standards for other people too. But leadership is also showing up in your life the way that if your clients were seeing you, they will be so fucking proud of you. And they will be like, oh my God, she's handling this way. So ask yourself this. And if there are things that you are doing that are shit in your life and you're like, oh my God, I have to stop it, stop it. Lesson number 3 is don't drag decisions. Okay. Don't drag decisions. Like I hear so many people say, I wish I had done this sooner, blah, 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 which shows that they already know what they needed to do before. Okay. They knew before I need to do this and they didn't. Okay. Because of some fears, of some blockages, of some limiting belief. Like it can be a lot of the things. And we're not here to also slap ourselves because in the past we were like this. But I want you to remember something that I also say is I am not this person anymore. Okay. So if before you used to take 6 months to make a decision and you don't want to be this person anymore, I am not this person anymore. I'm going to take this day, I make a decision, I come back to you. Done. If you're going to do it eventually, why not now? Okay, leaders move fast. Okay, they are trailblazers, showing the path forward and staying ahead in the industry. If you want to be seen as a leader, as you have no competition because no one is like you, no one has your experience, no one has your knowledge, of course, you need to move like a trailblazer, yeah? Which is to move fast because you are the one opening the doors. You are the one people are following you, looking at what you're doing, being like, yes, that's important. Lesson number 4, yes, you will lose people from your audience, okay? So just remember that this happens because you're no longer the same person and that's okay. You are being your true self at this time. And if you dragged it for a little bit, like it's going to be a big shock for people, okay? But the upside is that you're going to attract who align with the version of you now, okay? People will truly value what you offer. And if you've been frustrated with your audience or your client, it's likely because your branding, your messaging, your leadership weren't aligned with who you actually want to work with, okay? If people in your audience, for you, they're not the good people, like, ooh, this is mean. Yeah. If you're like, oh, people are not moving this way or people are not doing this is because you're attracting people like this. You, with your words, with the way that you show up, with your branding, with everything that you are doing, you are attracting people that are like this. The problem is not that people are not buying or whatever. Tons of people are buying tons of shit every day. They're just not doing it with you because not of them. It is because of you. Okay. And this is also something that is important as a leader is to have radical responsibility. Radical responsibility for our wins. Okay. So when you have a win, and it's because you moved your ass maybe for 6 months. Maybe you did XYZ for so long. And now you can celebrate about it. But it's the same when we don't have result or when we do a flop or something like this. It's also our responsibility. It's not the responsibility of our mentor. It's not the responsibility or the fault of our husband or our kids. No, it is just us. Yeah. And so if you are frustrated with your audience or your clients, it's because you are attracting this. So you have to review your branding, your messaging, your leadership, how you show up, all of this stuff, your content. So it attracts those people that you actually want to work with. Okay, last lesson. Leadership is about walking the talk. Yes, so I want you to remember that, yes, be willing to embrace discomfort. Put yourself in situations that push you out of your comfort zone. So when you are in a moment where you are going to you are going to have an unexpected actually challenge that makes you feel uncomfortable, you are going to be able to still be in your leadership. You are still an authority. Even when something is happening, you will know how to embrace the discomfort on the moment. You will know that this shall pass. Yeah. Because every single time you have put yourself in a discomfort situation, you discovered that this ends. It always ends. Okay. So the more you practice being uncomfortable, the easier it becomes to stay in flow even when things get tough. Because, and when I'm saying this, it sounds very masculine, but leadership is balancing feminine flow and masculine structure. So to handle obstacles gracefully, you must have built resilience by facing challenges before. If you're not experiencing discomfort right now, create it. Yeah. Wake up earlier, coming to daily yoga workout, go to social events if you're naturally introverted, all of this stuff. I practice discomfort every day. Yeah. So that when a challenge arises, I'm unshakable. And people wonder, how do you handle things like this? I can tell you, every single person that is around me asks me stuff like this. When big shit happen, they're like, wow, you're like a tree. I heard that. You're like a rock. How do you not XYZ? Because I've trained for it. Yeah. I've trained to be in discomfort. This was our first amazing episode of Take My Money podcast season 2. This is all going to be about learning how to create content, build a business, and design a brand that has dream client screaming, take my money from the rooftops. Yeah. All of the future episodes are going to be on leadership, on sales, on branding, business strategies, really skills that you need to have success, but also to build a business where you are so fucking proud of yourself. I can't wait for you to go through those episodes and for us to be together through so much. Okay. This is happening. You are on the train. You're learning as you go. And let's go.